The Ford Maverick has been the compact pickup truck king for quite a bit of time. But Subaru is here, and let's just say the company is about to crush the Maverick with its all-new 2024 Subaru Baja. The vehicle's got everything you could want from a compact pickup truck, and will likely cost a bit less than the Maverick too. Oh, and you'll definitely want to stick around to hear all about the perks of the potential WRX model the 2024 Baja is getting. Because I'll be honest, it's a doozy. Now, I've got to start off by mentioning the 2024 Subaru Baja's amazing platform. The vehicle will be using the Subaru Global Platform. That's right, Subaru's very own modular compact class platform will be making a return for the 2024 Subaru Baja. Various other models from the automotive company have been based on this platform, so you can be sure it's a tried and tested option. In fact, by making a small pickup truck on a compact class platform, Subaru is following along on a trend that's pretty common among most automakers. In fact, the Ford Maverick, which can probably be considered the biggest competitor for the 2024 Subaru Baja, is also based on a compact class platform. So it just makes a bit too much sense for Subaru to utilize this platform, adapting it to better fit the requirements of a pickup truck. There are a couple of benefits to doing this. For one, it's going to make the whole thing a lot cheaper for the customers. This is a huge advantage considering how Ford keeps upping the prices of the Maverick. If the 2024 Baja is able to stand out as a worthy alternative to the Maverick, while keeping its price at a much lower bracket overall, then there's no denying that it'll outright crush any chances of the Maverick holding its own against it. Plus, considering how unmatched the driving characteristics tend to be for this type of platform, there's no doubt that the 2024 Baja will feel great to take out on the road. Especially when you consider the fact that it'll likely be paired up with Subaru's Boxer engine, which has a super low center of gravity. Of course, this list wouldn't be complete without mentioning the Baja's many powertrain options. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the all-new Subaru Baja is going to be taking advantage of that trusty Boxer engine that Subaru loves so much. And honestly, I can't really blame them. This engine has some amazing performance, straight up. When you compare them to some of the more typical inline engines you might see in other vehicles, it becomes increasingly clear that the Boxer engine has a clear advantage. While the exact deets are still up in the air, most folks are executing the Subaru Baja to utilize the FB20D or the FB25D. These are the same two engines used in the Subaru Crosstrek, so there's some precedent for the company putting them in the 2024 Baja. FB20D is your lightweight option, basically the entry-level choice for folks who don't need that extra touch of power. It's got about 152 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque. But of course, for people who want a fully capable engine, the FB25D is the clear go-to option. This should be able to make 182 horsepower and about 175 pound-feet of torque. Pretty impressive numbers, I'd say. But of course, that's not all. The experts over at torquenews.com had a couple of extra things to say in praise of the all-new Subaru Baja. The all-new 2024 Subaru Baja pickup would feature the brand's core values of safety, fun to drive, all-wheel drive, fuel-efficient, a low center of gravity, and dual-function X mode for all-terrain capability. In addition, the new Baja pickup would be extra rugged and ready to go further off the grid. We can imagine an all-new 2024 Baja Wilderness with a 2.4-liter turbocharged Boxer engine producing 260 horsepower. The more rugged Baja trim could lead the segment with extra ground clearance, all-terrain tires, and underbody protection for off-roaders. Subaru wouldn't be able to build them fast enough. Another to keep in mind is the transmission that's going to be used in the 2024 Subaru Baja. Now, most people think that the single-speed CVT automatic, which most folks also call the Lineartronic, is going to be used in the 2024 Baja. This is kind of an obvious choice for a lot of automakers nowadays, but it's not without its own fair share of issues. I mean, sure, it helps you cut down on those costs and all, but there are problems in their performance when you consider towing. But hey, other than that, it's actually pretty decent. Ultimately, if Subaru decides that it really wants to make a lower price point its main highlight, just to get that edge over the Ford Maverick, I can totally see Subaru going for the single-speed CVT automatic transmission. But because of those limitations with towing I just mentioned, they might just go in a completely different route altogether. Who knows? Speaking of uncertainties, there's another potential model y'all can expect to see from the new Baja, and that's the WRX model. But here's the thing, right now, there's no real guarantee that this model will come out. Folks in the community all have their opinions. The general idea is that if the original model does well, then a WRX model will eventually follow. If not the base 2024 Baja, the WRX model for sure would outshine the Ford Maverick, maybe even utterly crushing it in a number of ways. Consider its engine, the 2.4 FA24F engine, a boxer engine that pushes out a whopping 271 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Bet those numbers are really starting to add up now, huh? But it gets even better. Because when you consider the numbers that the Ford Maverick churns out with its EcoBoost engine, the Baja is the clear winner here. The Maverick outputs 250 GP, leading to a massive improvement for Subaru fans. Oh, and remember that transmission issue I talked about? Well, in the WRX model, you'll be able to choose from a 6-speed manual or the Subaru Performance CVT automatic. So the choice is completely up to the customer in that regard. The WRX model really does seem to be all about the performance, really making it one of the best vehicles you could be taking out on the road. But of course, there's another model we've got to talk about. And that's the hybrid model, which is also reportedly in the works. Companies totally go nuts over these hybrids nowadays, and without a doubt, the 2024 Baja's biggest competitor when it comes to the hybrid model is, you guessed it, the Ford Maverick. Since it's also available as a hybrid, Subaru will definitely want to invest in making a hybrid model. Otherwise, they're going to be left way behind in the market with Ford racking in all the cash. That said, if Subaru delivers, they might just be able to one-up the Maverick, especially when you consider that the core of this hybrid is likely to be the same FB20D engine, but it'll come equipped with some special perks this time around. This includes an electric motor as well as a 48-volt battery. You could call it a mild hybrid model in that case, since it's adding in a pretty small battery pack. The transmission will also be the same as the standard model, leading to about 45 mpg in total. That's still 5 mpg higher than the Ford Maverick, giving one more point safely over to Subaru. What other additions can be made to the Baja to keep it up to the times? Well, carbuzz.com had a bit to say on it. The old Baja was Outback-based, but while there's still an Outback around today, it's grown substantially to the point that it would be too large for the segment. However, Subaru has other options. The Forester and Crosstrek are smaller and lend themselves to such a model, and with the introduction of more off-road related trims, a Subaru Wilderness truck based on the Forester or Crosstrek platform could be just the tonic for adventurous buyers. But Subaru would need to introduce new powertrains for these models, as the current lackluster motors are far behind what Ford and Hyundai offer in their small pickup trucks. This would be a key element, but it's also something Subaru may be unwilling to commit to for a relatively niche model. And guess what? Longtime Subaru fans have their own thoughts on the matter too. One Baja enthusiast is pretty much ready to get it once it launches, adding, "Oh, that is going to be one fine-looking vehicle. Can't wait to see if it will have LED headlights and push-button start." Another longtime fan of the brand joined in on the excitement too, mentioning, "I so hope this happens. I love my 2005 Baja. I feel like it was literally 20 years ahead of its time. It is about time for Subaru to jump ahead of its competition again. Would love to have a 6-speed manual as well." That's a wrap. See you in the next video.